Delaware County's only live television newscast from Ball State University's Unified Media Newsroom. You're watching NewsLink Indiana Midday.
Welcome to NewsLink Indiana Midday. I'm Asia White. We begin this morning with a developing story. Indiana Governor Mike Braun says he will call for a special session to consider redrawing Indiana's congressional districts. According to a news release, it would start November 3rd. Redistricting usually happens once a decade after the U.S. Census. Republicans currently hold 7 of Indiana's 9 congressional seats. The exceptions are in the Indianapolis area and the northwest corner of the state. This week, President Donald Trump will be sitting down with Chinese leader Xi Jinping for their first face-to-face meeting since Trump won re-election. The talks come after months of escalating threats between the two countries, but there may be an end in sight, Reed Binion reports.
I believe that we have the framework for the two leaders to have a very productive meeting for both sides.
U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent on Sunday outlining the framework for a U.S.-China trade deal to avoid imposing an additional 100% tariff on Chinese imports.
I think it will be fantastic for U.S. citizens, for U.S. farmers, and for our country in general.
President Donald Trump is set to meet with Chinese leader Xi Jinping Thursday in South Korea on the final leg of Trump's 3-country tour of Asia. On Air Force One over the weekend, Trump previewed what he hopes to achieve with the meeting.
A complete deal. I want our farmers to be taken care of, and he wants things also. We're going to be talking about fentanyl, of course. I think we have a really good chance of making a very comprehensive deal.
Halting Chinese exports of fentanyl's precursor chemicals was part of the framework U.S. and Chinese negotiators reached. On another component of the framework, Bessent said China will make substantial purchases of U.S. soybeans.
I'm also anticipating that we will get some kind of a deferral on the rare earth export controls that the Chinese had discussed.
Also, the two leaders are expected to finalize a deal to allow TikTok's U.S. operations to continue. In September, the White House announced an American investor group led by Oracle's Larry Ellison would operate the app's algorithm in the U.S. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
As the government shutdown stretches into day 27, it's putting a strain on air travel. Airports across the country have reported more staffing shortages than usual. Without enough manpower, there are rising concerns about possible safety lapses. In addition, thousands of flights were delayed Saturday, and more than 500 were canceled. Gene Sullivan has details on what's causing the staff shortages and what travelers can expect during the shutdown.
Thousands of flights have been delayed this weekend as airports across the country deal with staffing shortages.
There's going to be a lot less people coming in as people are going to be running out of money.
Oksana Kelly is a TSA agent in Orlando. Right now, she's not getting paid because of the government shutdown. Yet she still has to show up to work because TSA agents and air traffic controllers are considered essential employees. But many are having to call out sick because they say they simply can't afford to pay for things like gas or childcare costs.
If I have nowhere to leave my kids, how am I going to come to work?
According to flight tracker site FlightAware, more than 5,000 flights were delayed Saturday. More than 500 were canceled. Many of those delays are being blamed on staffing shortages.
We've gone up as high as 53% of the delays have been because of staffing shortages. And that number moves every single day.
It's frustrating some passengers.
I'm flying today on sheer faith.
They probably just need to come to an agreement and reopen the government.
Since the shutdown began October 1st, more than 250 FAA facilities have reported staffing problems. That's more than 4 times the number reported during the same period last year. The longer the shutdown lasts, the more financial pressure it puts on these workers.
That leads to an unnecessary distraction, and they cannot be 100% focused on their jobs, which makes this system less safe every day that this shutdown continues.
Travelers are being warned to expect longer security lines and to monitor their flights for any changes. All of this with less than a month to go before the busy holiday travel season. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Hurricane Melissa is now a Category 5 storm. The National Hurricane Center is forecasting Melissa will reach Jamaica Tuesday morning, likely to be the strongest storm to ever hit the island. Officials say life-threatening flash floods and landslides are expected. Residents have been cautioned to stay inside, and the Jamaican government already issued mandatory evacuations for several coastal communities. The U.S. is not expected to feel any direct threats from Melissa, although some parts of the East Coast could see rip currents and rough surf. Let's take a look at today's NewsLink Indiana weather. These are the conditions right now. It's 48 degrees under partly sunny skies. Expect partly cloudy skies today with a high in the mid-60s. Enjoy the nice weather while you can. The next few days will be gloomy and cool. Highs will drop into the 50s with a chance of showers on Wednesday and Thursday. With Halloween right around the corner, you may be planning to carve pumpkins soon. Here's your reminder to be extra careful. According to the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, more than 1,500 Americans each year end up in the emergency room around Halloween due to pumpkin carving accidents. Sharp knives can easily slip and cause serious injuries to fingers, hands, and even tendons. Experts say it's best to keep knives out of kids' hands and leave the carving to the adults. There are lots of coffee shops around the Muncie area. Some are big chains and some are locally owned. Each has its own personality, but NewsLink Indiana's Bailey Lincoln visits one coffee shop with its own calling.
Alyssa Helfer is the owner of Dina's and has been working in the coffee business since she was 15. Owning her own shop has been a long-time dream of hers. She started Dina's in January. Dina's is a Christian-based company. Helfer says that makes them different in the Muncie community.
Everything we do is to glorify our Savior. So I would say that's what makes us different. With every cup, we tie towards a different organization every month. So whenever you drink our coffee, it's going back into the community whenever you spend by.
Dina's employee, Reagan Martin, connected with Helfer's father-in-law when they first began building the shop. She wanted to be more involved in the Muncie community, offering help if they needed it. Living close to the shop, Martin would walk to Dina's often. Eventually, Helfer offered her a job.
I just feel like it's a place of community, and like you see regulars so much, and like the same people come in every day, and it just like always warms our heart to see people. So it's just like a hub of community in Muncie.
Dina's is now offering discounts 3 days a week to get more people into the shop and spread word of Christ, Helfer said.
Just want to roast our own beans, give people high quality, very local products, and just make something that people feel good about buying.
In Muncie, Bailey Lincoln, NewsLink Indiana.
For more information, you can find Dina's on Instagram and Facebook at Dina's Coffee House. And that's your NewsLink webcast for today. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to join us tonight at 6:57 on Ball State PBS. And for news anywhere, anytime, go to cardinalmediabsu.com.